Resolved. In the words of Patrick Henry, the liberties of people never were, nor ever will be secure, when the transactions of their rulers may be concealed from them. In other words, we believe people should have more information to what the government does. First and foremost, agencies and companies have been able to get away with illegal acts in court. They can get away with withholding information they do not want to share without having to explain why. They could even say the file or record doesn't even exist. Government agencies also can surveil a person's email and phone calls as long as their official target is outside the U.S. and the possible information is significant. Also, knowing who you're voting for. Voters deserve the right to know the personal background of politicians. You don't want to elect a politician that has a bad background. There is a difference between personal and political. Voting shouldn't be based on social relationships. People deserve the right to know everything about a politician's background before voting for them, mainly so that they know who they're really voting for. In addition, knowing the military's actions. The Attorney General has permitted federal agencies to hide public access to information. Current reports have shown that the police, specifically the FBI, have been spying on residents of the U.S. without a warrant or permission from a judge. In the 1960s, the government considered to Frank Castro, murder innocent citizens, and sink Cuban refugee ships. It turned out the public was completely unaware of the idea until 40 years later. In conclusion, giving more information to people about the government would be beneficial because it would prevent agencies from lying, allow people to know politicians' backgrounds for accurate votes, and have the government and military responsible for any actions. Therefore, revealing more about the inner workings of the government would be beneficial to the society. Thank you.
My opponent may say that we should have more privacy, but we disagree because we can look up personal information about people without even knowing if we can look up information about people without them even knowing about it, and we can know secret information that they don't want them to know about. And politicians should not be judged about their past. It should be judged about what they mean to do for the future. And with phone tapping and stuff like that, they do that to protect the people, not to try and harm them and keep secrets away from the people. Therefore, we should not have too much of a right to information.
The opposition says with too much privacy, we will end up like North Korea. But with too much freedom, we will end up like Mexico. If people are allowed to access information, it will ruin our country. Would you want somebody to be able to access information about you that can ruin your life? I know I wouldn't. People shouldn't have the right to information because it can affect national and international security, violate an individual's personal rights, and can provide unfair disadvantages to an individual. National and international security is extremely important and should not be tampered with. As reported by NBC News, Justin Kagan argued against broadening an open records exemption to let corporations claim personal privacy rights and avoid public release of government documents about them. In the past, the U.S. government was authorized by the Administrative Procedures Act in 1946 to withhold from the public any and all records, stated by the Macmillan Social Science Library. In the past, we had a great working system. Why give that up for a system that can potentially harm us in the future? The government is too transparent. Information the government has could eventually harm people in this country. In my opinion, the leaders of our government need to step up and make their information more secure by not letting corporations or businesses use information to benefit themselves. The information that is given to places outside the government could leak and be spread worldwide. Having leaked information will put this country in a disastrous spot. Access to information is also a poor idea because it could violate personal information. Based on my research, the government allows everyone to access criminal records, no matter how old the case is. Severe cases, such as sexual offenses or murders, should be available to the public. But having an argument with a landlord and suing them doesn't need to be shared. Criminal records and personal information should not be attainable to the public because it goes against privacy rights. People can be prejudiced against and will be given judgments that are clearly not deserved if the right to information is allowed. Many people and lawyers will use a past case to charge someone in the present. A small mistake in the past that isn't even a problem anymore could resurface and destroy someone's life. Being able to have access to information has its unfair disadvantages. Based on my experience, I have a family member who was incarcerated based on information pulled off of their juvenile record. In many cases, people and lawyers will use past information to charge you in the present, and the government should not allow it. With access to information, people of this country will keep having ridiculous cases because of the victim's past. People can lose everything that they worked so hard to accomplish. Would you want to be discriminated against and be given unfair disadvantages based because of the information that was released by your own government? If the right to information is allowed throughout America, we will instantly become a giant country of disgrace and chaos. The right to information can cause multiple problems throughout our country. Also, the right to information puts the country in a dangerous position because many other countries will have information about us that can in the future harm people of this country. Therefore, the government should not give citizens the right to information.
My opposition may say that more information would violate privacy, but that is not true, because the government wouldn't have anything private to share, and they wouldn't project it to the world. Based on my background knowledge, the government deals with economy, laws, and enforcement of those laws. They would share what's going on in the government and overseas, not about someone's personal life. We're proposing that we know more, not everything. Also, private information would only be shared with those involved. It would only involve a smaller group, and it wouldn't be every single person in the world. We're asking more from the government, not from people themselves. We're also proposing that there be new rules and policies that allow more information to be shared. Therefore, in a scenario where there is more information shared by the government, it would not violate someone's privacy.